Several major U.S. news sites, such as the Los Angeles Times and the Chicago Tribune, were unavailable in most European countries Friday as a new European Union data law went into effect. Stars and Stripes Berlin, the European Union's new data privacy regime, the bloc's first major overhaul of rules governing people's data since 2005, took effect Friday after months of sometimes frantic preparations. While some European users complained about being blocked from accessing their social media accounts or certain U.S. sites Friday, others heralded the changes as a milestone for internet privacy in Europe and around the world. What has changed for users? Individuals have a right to know what data is collected about them and why, how long it will be stored and how it will be processed. Users also have a right to have their personal data deleted in certain circumstances. They also need to have the option to be able to appeal to the human decision-makers behind algorithms. Organizations need to obtain active consent from individuals before collecting data in many circumstances and are obligated to report data security breaches to authorities within 72 hours. Why do U.S. companies have to comply with those rules? 2. Governments can fine organizations up to 4% of their global revenue for non-compliance, including for failure to process data lawfully, for not having a data protection officer and for security breaches. Is anyone already risking legal consequences? Yes. Vienna-based privacy watchdog None of Your Business, NOYB, filed complaints Friday against Google, Instagram, WhatsApp and Facebook. The NGO believes that those four social networks or messaging services essentially force their users to agree to their privacy standards or not use the services at all, rather than modifying their standards to ensure more online privacy and data protection. What are the downsides for consumers? Some companies have chosen to go blank in Europe instead of having to comply with the expansive privacy regulations, including websites such as Unroll.me and Clout. More widely accessed U.S. media outlets, including the Chicago Tribune, the Los Angeles Times, and the Baltimore Sun, similarly blocked some of their European users starting Friday. It is uncertain when or if those websites will become accessible again. Ahead of the law taking effect Friday, consumers also complained about a number of bureaucratic challenges, such as an influx of consent-seeking emails from companies trying to distribute their newsletters or doctors making their patients sign pages-long forms about how to store their data. So, if it's all so complicated, why did Europe bother to introduce the rules? European Union regulators have always been much tougher on the tech companies than their U.S. counterparts, for instance forcing them to give users more control, imposing fines for non-compliance and requiring platforms to spot and delete illegal content. Depending on the EU countries, there is generally also more public backing here than in the United States for the sort of expansive regulations that took effect Friday, at least as long as they don't turn the internet into a bureaucratic nightmare. The Washington Post's Marissa Belloc contributed to this report.